This video demonstrates how to configure appropriate security policies to achieve precise access control. Security policies control whether traffic passing through the firewall is forwarded, and they are the core of the firewall security control. Security policies match traffic using rules such as source and destination addresses, services, and applications to permit or deny traffic forwarding through the firewall. The working principles of security policies are as follows. When a packet arrives at the firewall, the security policy module matches the packet source and destination security zones, source and destination IP addresses, applications, services, and other attributes against the filtering conditions configured in the security policies. If the packet meets all the filtering conditions of a specific policy, the packet is either permitted or discarded according to the action set in the policy. If functions such as intrusion prevention system or antivirus are enabled in the security policy, permitted packets proceed to undergo IPS or AV detection. This process identifies and blocks malicious packets, such as attacks and viruses, while permitting normal traffic to pass through. The following uses a typical company network scenario to explain how to configure appropriate security policies. Here are the requirements. Requirement 1. Network connectivity. Employees can access the internet and the company server. Guests can access the internet and cannot access the internal network or the server. Requirement 2. Security protection. All internet traffic must undergo AV and IPS detection. All employees and guests are prohibited from accessing entertainment websites during working hours. The use of P2P download applications is prohibited within the internal network. First, create address objects. Log into the device web UI and choose Object Address IPv4 address. Click Create. Create an address object for internal employees named Address Employee and set the IP range to 192.168.10.0/24. Create an address object for guests named Address Guest and set the IP range to 192.168.20.0/24. Create an address object for the company server named Address Web Server and set the IP address to 10.10.10.5. Next, you can create policy groups to keep policy management organized. Choose Policy as Security Defense, a security policy. Click Add Policy Group. Create a group named OneLAN to WAN. Place this group at the top to manage all traffic from the internal network to the external network. Create a second group named 2LAN to DMZ to manage traffic from the internal network to the demilitarized zone. Note that the device has a default policy group named Default Policy Group and a default security policy named Default Policy that denies all traffic from being forwarded by the firewall. When multiple security policy groups are configured, you can reorder them by clicking the ellipsis next to a group and dragging it to the desired position. The closer a policy group is to the top, the higher its priority in matching. The default policy group has the lowest priority. Now, you can configure specific policies in a policy group. Log into the web UI and choose Policy as Security Defense, the security policy. Click Create. In the tip dialog box that is displayed, click Create to access the Create Security Policy page. Create security policies in the OneLAN to WAN policy group. Create security policies in the 2LAN to DMZ policy group. After configuration is complete, return to the security policy page to view all security policy groups and their associated policies. Security policy matching is performed in sequence from the top to the bottom of the policy list. If the traffic matches a security policy, subsequent policies will not be matched. You can use the simulation space to simulate the operation of the created security policies to identify potential vulnerabilities or issues in advance. Based on the simulation results, you can adjust the priorities of security policies or modify the security policy configurations to meet the service requirements and avoid risks during policy execution. For details about IPS, AV, and other configurations in security policies, see configuration guides on Ruijie official website. This video demonstrates a simple example using the default template. Thank you for watching.